Hello everyone. Today's topic in immunology is antigen presenting cells. We understand that antigens, when they enter into the body, they are recognized by our immune cells. They mount on the immune cells and activate the cells, which then proliferate and differentiate to produce effector cells and memory cells. Now, there are different ways how the antigen is recognized by our immune cell, and one such method or one such pathway is through the antigen presenting cell. So, let us see today what is antigen presenting cell. Now, these antigen presenting cell, as the name indicates, are the specialized cells which have the ability to internalize antigen. What do we mean by internalize? To take the antigen into their cells, into themselves. And this can be done through various processes. We have already studied one such process called phagocytosis, which is carried out by macrophages. Similarly, endocytosis is another form of internalizing any antigen by specialized cells. And these cells, other than internalizing, they also have the ability to break those internalized antigens into smaller parts, and those parts of the antigen are then expressed on the cell surface of the specialized cell on special receptors. And such cells are called as antigen presenting cells. The two major properties which help in distinguishing these cells are: one, they express class 2 MHC molecule. MHC is major histocompatibility complex molecules. We will be talking about MHCs in the next session. So, for now, remember that the two major classes of MHCs are class 1 MHC molecule and class 2 MHC molecule. And antigen presenting cells specifically express class 2 MHC molecule on their surface. That is one of the important property. The second important property is they provide co-stimulatory signals which are necessary for activation of T cells. Co-stimulatory signals are important during the activation of T cells. Without the co-stimulatory signal, the T cell activation will be incomplete. Hence, this co-stimulatory signal for the complete activation of T cell is provided by antigen presenting cell. What the co-stimulatory signals are, we will be studying when we come to second unit, when we talk about T cell and B cell activation. So, for now, just remember the two important properties are: one, they express class 2 MHC molecule on their surface, and second, they provide co-stimulatory signal which is necessary for activation of T cells. The basic terminologies that we have already studied when we were talking about types of antigen are endogenous antigen and exogenous antigen. Endogenous antigen, as the name indicates, are the antigens which are produced within the body due to various metabolic activity or any other biochemical activity in the body. And exogenous antigens are those antigens which come into the body from outside. In this case, especially those antigens which are internalized through the process of either endocytosis or phagocytosis. Another form of which is similar to phagocytosis is spinocytosis. Other than this, we also have receptor mediated endocytosis. Okay, and all this process of capturing the antigen and then breaking it down and then presenting it on their, expressing it on their surface through special receptors. This entire process is called as antigen processing and presentation, which we will be studying as a separate topic later on. So before we go into antigen presenting cell examples, let us see the classification of antigen presenting cell. Broadly, we can classify antigen presenting cells into professional antigen presenting cells and non-professional antigen presenting cells. As the name indicates, professional means whose only job or the major job is to present antigen on their surface, is to internalize the antigen, process them, and then express it on their surface. The expression of these antigen on the surface of these specialized cells called antigen presenting cell, that is called as antigen presentation. Right? So there are three important professional antigen presenting cell. The first one is dendritic cells, second one are the macrophages, and the third one is B lymphocytes. So these are the three important professional antigen presenting cell. Other than these three, we also have some non-professional antigen presenting cell. What do you mean by non-professional antigen presenting cell? Non-professional means those cells whose actual job is not to present antigen. They have some other function. But then under special condition, under specific requirement, these cells can be induced to express class 2 MHC molecule or co-stimulatory signal, which are the two important properties of any antigen presenting cell. Thus, you can convert them into antigen presenting cell for a short period of time, just a temporary measure. So such cells whose actual job is not antigen presenting, but then under required condition, under special condition, they can be induced to express either class 2 MHC molecules or a co-stimulatory signal, and for a very short period of time. Such cells are called as non-professional antigen presenting cells. Right? And this is usually seen, these kind of cells are usually seen in situations like inflammatory responses, where many cells are required for presenting antigen. So there we can find non-professional antigen presenting cells. Okay, let us, we are not going to see in detail what are non-professional antigen presenting cell, because any non-professional antigen presenting cell, once they are converted, once they are activated to function like a professional antigen presenting cell, they will only follow one of these pathways. So we are only going to see in detail the three important professional antigen presenting cell, which we have already seen when we were talking about cells of immune system. So I have just given a broad picture of each of those three cells. Dendritic cells, abbreviated as DC, they are the cells which are derived from the bone marrow. Now these dendritic cells can be classified based on three important characteristics. First, based on their source, then based on their maturity level, and third, based on their distribution in various tissues. So the first classification, based on their source, we can divide them into two types: myeloid dendritic cells and lymphoid dendritic cells. Based on their maturity, there are two types: immature dendritic cells and mature dendritic cells. And finally, based on their distribution in tissues, we have three classes. You have the lymphoid tissues, then those present in the non-lymphoid tissues, and those present in the body fluid. Those present in the lymphoid tissue, examples are interdigitating dendritic cells and follicular dendritic cells. And those which are non-lymphoid tissue, which are present in the non-lymphoid tissue, example is Langerhans cell. So that is the classification. And if we have to see based on where they are present, each one based on the organ where you find them, or based on the tissue where they are situated, they have got different names. For example, those which are present in lymphoid tissue, we have already seen, they are called as interdigitating cells. Then we have follicular dendritic cells, and then we also have thymic dendritic cells. And those which are non-lymphoid, which are present in non-lymphoid tissue, we have Langerhans cells, and other than that we also have interstitial dendritic cells. And those dendritic cells which are present in the body fluid, they are called whealed cells and peripheral blood dendritic cells. These are the different types of dendritic cells based on the organ where they are found. Function of any dendritic cell you can put it into two categories. One, they should have the ability to capture and process the antigen. What do you mean by processing? I've already told you, any antigen which is internalized or which is taken into the cell should be broken into small pieces, so that each of those small parts can then be expressed through MHC class II molecule on the surface of these antigen presenting cell. So capturing and processing of the antigen, and finally presenting the antigen. These are the two important functions, actually three important functions: capturing, then processing, and finally presenting, right? So here is a diagrammatic representation. You can see how antigen can be captured. Here they have taken the example of a Langerhans cell, which is a dendritic cell present in non-lymphoid tissues. And these Langerhans cells, when they encounter an antigen, I'll just show you. These are the antigens, and here you are seeing the Langerhans cell. When these Langerhans cells come across any antigen through these pseudopodia, all these are those extensions, arm-like extensions. These are the ones which help in trapping the antigen and internalizing them. Once they are internalized, you will see these are then processed. Processing means breaking it into smaller pieces, and once they are broken into small pieces, you can see here each part is then expressed through MHC class II molecule on the surface of these dendritic cells. And once they express, here I'll just show you, this is your MHC class II molecule expressing the processed part of the antigen. And the other one here, what you are seeing, this one is the co-stimulatory signal. Hence, what happens is, when this dendritic cell expressing MHC class II molecule which is presenting the antigen and also expressing the co-stimulatory signal and is encountered by T cell, the T cell will bind to the antigen which is presented by the dendritic cell, and the co-stimulatory signal is also recognized by the T cell, and that leads to activation of T cell, which will then proliferate and differentiate to give or to form effector T cells and memory T cells. So this is how antigen presentation helps in activation of T cell by dendritic cell. Very simple method. There are special markers which help us in identifying dendritic cell. I have listed few. Please remember at least two of the important markers. I would suggest the two important markers that will help you in distinguishing dendritic cell from other antigen presenting cell will be, other than MHC class II and co-stimulatory signal, you can remember any one of them so that it will be easy for during the exam. Other than that, these dendritic cells also secrete cytokines like IL-1, 6, 12, TNF alpha, IFN alpha and chemokines. So here are the diagrammatic representation of some of the important types of dendritic cells. Here is an interdigitating dendritic cell. Then we have follicular dendritic cell and Langerhans cell. And here is a list of different types of dendritic cells, and on top in the other columns are the various markers, and plus and minus, number of plus indicates the presence or absence of various markers in the dendritic cells. And differentiation, development, maturation, all that takes place in accordance with other immune cells. We all have seen that we have two types based on their source: lymphoid dendritic cells and myeloid. Lymphoid dendritic cells, they are usually present in the lymph, and they are helpful in negative selection of T cells. And myeloid dendritic cells, we have two types: immature and mature. There are 4 phases in the life cycle of any dendritic cell. We have the pre-dendritic cells, then we have the immature dendritic cells, and then dendritic cells in migration, and finally mature dendritic cells. So these are the 4 phases. And activation, as I have told you, they produce MHC class 2 molecule and co-stimulatory signal through which they help in activation of the T cells. Coming to the next important type of antigen presenting cell, they are the macrophages. We have studied enough about macrophages when we were talking about cells of immune system. Here the basic information that all of you should remember is that macrophages, when they are present in the blood circulation, when they are produced initially and when they are present in the blood circulation, they are called as monocytes. Once they reach a specific tissue, based on the tissue where they are present, they have different names, but commonly we call them macrophages or macrophages. And if you look at the structure of any macrophage, the nucleus is quite large, irrespective, when compared to the others, basophil, neutrophils, etc. Sorry. Each one has a different name based on the tissue where they are present. When they are present in the blood, they are called as monocyte. In the liver, they are called as Kupffer cells. In the kidney glomerulus, they are called as mesenglial cells. And you have microglia in the brain, alveolar macrophage in the lung, and histiocyte in the connective tissue. Function will be the same as we have already understood, phagocytosis, through which the macrophages will internalize the antigen and process them, and finally presentation. So initially non-active macrophages are present. Once they take up the antigen, they get activated and they start synthesizing class 2 MHC molecule and co-stimulatory signal. Here are some of the important markers. And function we have already understood. They provide receptors for activation through which the antigen can be presented to T cells. They also produce certain enzymes which are necessary during immune reaction, and obviously they are involved in production of many different types of cytokines. So here is a very important diagram which shows you how phagocytosis process takes place. So these finger-like extensions, as I have already told you, all these finger-like extensions, these are called as pseudopodia. Whenever there is any bacteria or any, in our, we'll just use a common term, antigen comes near a macrophage, these pseudopodia help in trapping them and internalizing them. When they are internalized, they are present in a vesicle-like structure which is called as a phagosome. Okay, it is called as a phagosome. Now these phagosomes then combine with lysosomes which contain enzymes like lysozyme, which will help in breaking the antigen into smaller parts. Once they are broken into smaller parts, these before that, phagosome and lysosome, when they combine together, they form a structure called phagolysosome, where within the phagolysosome is the breaking down or processing of the antigen taking place, and that is where your MHC class 2 molecule is also assembled, and then through MHC class 2 molecule, these antigen parts are then expressed on the surface of macrophages. So this entire process is called as phagocytosis. So here is a very important diagram which shows you an important biological effect of any macrophage when it internalizes any foreign particle. Other than presenting the antigen, which we are seeing here, they also are involved in initial defense by producing cytokines. Okay, and other than that, they are also involved in effector function directly. That is, they have the ability, they have anti-tumor functions, they have antimicrobial function. So these are the various functions of macrophages. which we have already understood. You can go through it. After that, the third type of important antigen presenting cell are the B cells or the B lymphocytes. A very important function of B cell is that it is involved in humoral immune response, cell mediated immune response. They also act as antigen presenting cell. Other than functioning in humoral immune response, they also act as antigen presenting cell, and they, just like macrophages, these B cells also have the ability to internalize the antigen, process them and present them on their surface through MHC class II molecule, and also express co-stimulatory signals on their surface. Thus, they also present antigen to T cells and activate T cells. So it is a very beautiful pathway which we will be studying in the second unit. For now, please understand that B cells have two important functions. One, they mediate humoral immune response or cell mediated immune response. Second, they present antigen to T cells by internalizing them and presenting them on their surface through MHC class II molecule. They can take up two types of antigen. One, they can take up any soluble antigen, and also they are involved in specific receptor mediated endocytosis. I'll just show you what is receptor mediated endocytosis. Here you can see these are the receptor, B cell receptors, which are present on the surface of the B cell. These okay, so these B cell receptors, you can see here, they can recognize antigen and bind them. Once they bind the antigens, these are then taken internalized into the cell through the process of endocytosis, and they form vesicles like we saw in the previous case, phagosomes. Here lysosomes are formed. These are called as endosomes. These endosomes then you can see here along with other enzymes, like in the previous case, in case of macrophages we saw, here also these will then will combine with other vesicles containing enzymes to break down the antigen into smaller parts, and these antigens are then, you can see here, presented on MHC class II molecule on the surface of the B cell. Meanwhile, these surface receptors which helped in trapping the antigen, they will release the antigen, and these are then recycled to the surface for capturing other new antigens. So nothing is a waste here, everything is recycled. This entire process is called as specific receptor mediated endocytosis. Here is a list of various markers, surface markers present on B cell and function of each one of them. So I'll show you the important ones. This is the one which we have understood. All the antigen presenting cells, they express class II MHC molecule on their surface, and they express co-stimulatory signals for the activation of T cells. So here are the two. Other than that, they have surface receptors, Ig receptors, which help in trapping the antigen for receptor mediated endocytosis. Other than that, there are other types of receptors also present. Characteristics of B cell: one, they are not actively phagocytic. What do you mean by actively phagocytic? Unlike your macrophages, you see, they, whenever they come across any antigen, it can be anything. They are not specific. Anything which comes in their way, it will be trapped by their pseudopodia and it will be internalized. Whereas in case of B cells, only when the antigen is recognized by the receptor, it will be bound by the receptor and it will be internalized. So very specific. So they are not always phagocytic. Whenever they recognize, they will respond. And obviously they produce class II MHC molecule, and they also express BCR. BCR stands for B cell receptors on their surface. So this we have understood. This is the process. I'll just show you. Here you can see this is a B cell, and different types of surface markers are present, and you can see the antigen is recognized by the B cell receptor, which will be then internalized, broken into small parts and expressed on their surface through class 2 MHC molecule B7. Hold on. B7, what you are seeing, this is the expression of or presentation of antigen on the surface through class 2 MHC molecule, and this is a co-stimulatory signal. And here on the other side you can see T helper cell. So these B cells will present antigen to T helper cell, which will get activated and will produce it will proliferate and produce effector cells and memory cells. Another beautiful pathway what we see here is that when these T cells are activated, they then activate again the B cells which activated them. So first was the B cell, it internalized an antigen, it activated the T cell. This T cell then again will activate the B cell, which will also then proliferate and differentiate to produce effector cells called plasma cells, which will secrete antibodies here. Okay, so I'll just repeat the entire thing. You have the B cells which will capture the antigen and which will present the antigen to T helper cell. T helper cell will get activated and it will activate the B cells. These B cells will then proliferate to produce antibody producing B cells or plasma cells and memory cells. And here also these T cells will then produce effector cells and memory cells. So this is how the entire process takes place. Don't be too confused. This pathway we will be learning in the second unit. So here are overall the three important types of professional antigen presenting cell. Two important properties of professional antigen presenting cell is all of them should express class 2 MHC molecule on their surface, and all of them should also express co-stimulatory signal on their surface. Out of the three, dendritic cells are the most effective of the three, and macrophages are always active phagocytic molecules. B cells, they are not always phagocytic. Whenever they recognize an antigen and bind, they will they will enter into endocytosis. So with that we complete antigen presenting cell. Thank you.